Cool. I'll try not to move the phone today, so I've put it in.
Thank you, because I've just had a coffee and it has sugar in it, so I may get a bit. Okay. So how has this week been?
Okay.
I'm going to turn you up because I can only hear you very faintly.
Okay, I'll try to come closer. Now the week has been okay. A bit busy. I mean, lately, because I am so busy at work, I noticed that I'm getting overwhelmed with, a bit more, because, I mean, it's a bit in between. I realize that, in reality, I'm working part-time without doing the part-time. So it's like I discussed with my boss, might as well do the full-time and get paid full-time.
Absolutely.
And especially have the pension full-time.
Yes.
So kind of I've come to terms with that, especially because, I spoke to a colleague and she's like, oh, I have an arrangement where I only take 30 minutes for lunch. I'm like, why can't I get that? So, I'm exploring possibilities.
Could it be because you never asked for it?
Yeah, could be. Could be. Because,
Sometimes
you hear that no, nothing is possible, and I already considered myself being one of the lucky ones in having the part-time, that, I'm like, I'm not going to ask for, the extras.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in that situation where, we are in the middle of reassignment of positions here in IFAD. So people are going crazy. There's really a really bad atmosphere, a lot to stress. I'm trying to stay away from that. And I think I told you I'm volunteering for, this first wave of reassignments.
Yes.
Because I don't fall into the first wave. But on the one hand, I don't want to find myself in the second wave where apparently there's going to be very little positions. And two, I thought, for the little chances I might have, because I'm still going to be considered at the end of wave one, but still I'm doing the job. It's a higher grade. I'm still killing myself for working. Might as well have the grade and the pay for it. And I'm enjoying the job, even though the rhythm is a bit crazy. And my director, at least she appreciates me, and she even said to me that she's spoken well about me to the HR director, saying that, she's really happy with me and stuff. And, if it so happens, she would like to keep me. And of course, apparently the HR director said to her that, tell Adriana clearly that no director will have her own part-time arrangement. So I said to my boss, I said, fine, I'll volunteer for the position I'm covering because I'm interested in it. And also I don't want to go back to my other division, which in terms of atmosphere and being fake and doing things behind your back is terrible. But I'm like, the rhythms here are very intense. I said, I will not put down the part-time, but I said, if I get the position, I will need a flexi time. And she said to me, yeah, fine. We'll talk about it, but it's fine. So at least,
Good, you're talking, which is very good. And you're setting down clear boundaries for what you will accept and what you won't, which is very healthy.
Yeah.
So
I'm happy with that. But of course, I'm still concerned that I think it's the way I work. I'm a perfectionist, and I like to, I notice there's people and there's people. There's people like me at work, and there's people who are like,
yes,
you relaxed and they go for a coffee. Me, my priority is my work and my deadlines, right? So I'm kind of, it's like always a fight against time.
Okay, don't go down the rabbit hole. Use this session for you. Okay.
Yeah, you're right. So yeah, no, I'm happy. I'm happy for that I've said it to my director, and I have to be honest, she's been awfully nice because she said to me, send me your curriculum, like we have a set standard form. She send me your PHF, and then I'll review it.
Why wouldn't your director be nice to you? Why wouldn't she be supportive and listen to
No,
you?
I know, but I'm thinking she's not going to do that for each and every assistant she has in the division. You see what I mean?
I do, but you've just completely shrugged off my question.
Okay. What's the question?
Why wouldn't she be nice to you? Why wouldn't she be supportive of you?
I guess because when she does it, I feel like privileged.
Okay, let's look at that word, privileged.
And I've always disliked, especially being Italian, I don't like favoritisms. I mean, I know she really likes me and the way I work. So it's not like I'm saying.
So does she just really like you, or does she appreciate you?
She appreciates me.
So that means you're worth her taking time with you, doesn't it?
Yeah. No, and I do realize that. I do realize that it's not like she's doing it because I'm the daughter of Susanna and Susanna is the big boss in the whatever. So she's not doing it for that. I'm aware of that.
So what is she doing it for then?
Because I work well and she likes the way I do my job and the way I carry out my tasks in the division.
So you're someone who makes a great contribution to the work of the division.
Yeah.
You're a valuable member of staff.
But I sort of feel like...
Answer the question. You're a valuable member of staff.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Kenny, you're always rushing to, I don't like favoritism, I don't like that, I feel guilty, instead of allowing yourself the space to say, yes, I am a valuable member of staff. It's perfectly right and understandable that she should listen to me because I contribute one hell of a lot. Yeah. Not just in terms of unpaid hours, but in my commitment, in my focus on excellence.
Yeah.
You don't let yourself. One of my neuroscience teachers, Dr. Rick Hansen, says that good experiences are wasted on us. And until we can stop that cycle of rushing to the negative, rushing to why we might be wrong, why we might be experiencing favoritism, why we're menefreghista or presa-pochista or whatever else. They don't exist in English. I know you know that, so I have no choice but to use them. You're always rushing to excuse your sense of still not believing that you are a valuable member of the team, of the family. And until you turn that around, your good experiences, you will always waste. You will always struggle to get out of the rabbit hole because you are not making use of those good experiences. You're rushing to the rabbit hole. Literally, you rush to the rabbit hole.
Yeah, I see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're so ready to make this shift, Adriana. I wouldn't push so hard if you weren't. You are. I just long for you to really see just how good and how valuable you are. I know the sort of client I attract.
Yeah.
And I know that they are extremely intelligent, extremely talented, extremely committed. And they've just reached the end of their tether with the way they get in their own way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so when you came to me, you cried almost every session because you were in so much pain. You've made unbelievable progress. You really have. I'm so proud of you, and I'm so honored and humbled.
I was going down the rabbit hole there, but I didn't say it.
No, don't. So, but my dearest wish for you is that you can see the way you work against yourself and
Yeah, no,
really value yourself enough to commit to making the change, okay? To
yeah,
listen to what you're saying. Because we
yeah,
speak so quickly, we say the same things, we don't actually hear them,
yeah. No, I see it. When you stopped me, I saw it.
okay?
Yeah, no, I saw it.
I want you to be able to enjoy that sense of, she really rates me because I'm a very valuable member of the team. She really wants me to stay. That's why she's listening to my needs. It's right that you should have needs. Otherwise, you'd be a slave.
Mm-hmm.
You're not
Yeah,
threatening her with them. You're just saying what you want.
yeah,
And that's a healthy boundary. Don't feel guilty for that. Don't try and undersell it or
yeah,
leap back into, I'm not arrogant. I don't want to be arrogant. I don't want to feel superior to others. I don't want to feel entitled. I don't want to feel the favorite. We know that. It's a given because you're not that person.
yeah,
It screams from you.
yeah,
And it does from all of my clients. None of them want it, but we've all started with a very low sense of self-worth, and we haven't lost the habit of that low self-worth.
yeah,
So New Year's resolution, higher self-worth. You're going to value yourself.
yeah, yeah, indeed. And actually, yesterday I had the terrible day with the kids. Terrible, terrible.
How
And
do you do?
ended up saying things I didn't want to say. They were grumpy, in a bad mood, moaning. I tried to kind of tell them that, they need to straighten up and cannot complain all the time, and they need to be in charge of their things, jacket, small things.
Yes.
On top of everything, they ended up kind of laughing at my face. Bit, both of them. They look at each other and they kind of, they want to make pull faces without doing it, but I saw it. Call them back once or twice, then I just, okay, fine. If you guys continue like that, Dad and I have to, start taking privileges from you. Of course, they burst into tears. And I said, you know what? You can be sad because you just did something that is not correct to do. When I'm trying to talk to you in a serious manner, you start making fun of me. And that is not okay. In the end, they went to do karate and stuff, came home, we had another fight. One of them went to bed without eating dinner. I mean, it was really the full shebang yesterday. So
What
Torsten,
was going on? Could you see some reason for it? Were they overtired?
I think they are tired. I don't understand why, and possibly me also as well did my part, because I am, even if possible, extra tired, because of course now I'm working even more if possible, and then trying to organize. Fine, still I have the same babysitter with the days, but then the days I have to go and pick them up and run, and a lot of
Yes.
a lot of rushing, and it's a typical thing that hits you. Actually, it started with, we had a doctor appointment. I had to take them out of school 30 minutes before the normal hour. So rush from here, rush to there, pick them up, start driving to the pediatrician, and it's like one moan after the other. There is not one positive thing. So I'm like, and then we have a fight or whatever. And I said, you guys, I work all day longing to come back and pick you up and spend some time with you. I said, this is not nice to have so much negativity. Why does everything have to be so negative? So I think it kind of hits me that when I make so much effort for them to kind of not get anything in return, if you see what I mean.
I do exactly see what you mean. And where do you think they're getting that negativity from?
Torsten says they get it from us.
Yeah,
Torsten
exactly.
says if we don't start being positive, they are not going to be positive.
Yeah, they're learning from you.
But I think that we are positive. Okay, fine. We have our flaws, but And fair enough, they might see me always kind of on the run, and I have to make dinner, and I have to this, and I have to that. But maybe it's subconscious or whatever, because, you know, we meet them with always a smile and try, you know. So I don't know where the negativity comes. Torsten says it comes from the negativity me and him have with each other.
Yeah. I would quite honestly go with Torsten with that, because we know the science is very clear on it, that you need to be far more positive than you are negative.
Yeah.
The negative includes all the levels of all the spectrum of stress. So if you're always busy, 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 they will see you as negative because you don't have time for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not 2 positives to 1 negative. It's something like 8 positives to 1 negative. Otherwise, they see you as predominantly negative.
Yeah. So definitely we have to work a bit more on that.
Yeah.
But yesterday I was up to here when Torsten landed from Germany, and I warned him because, you know, at least he knew what to expect, because he was coming very late, and basically one of the kids was waiting for him to come back to tell him how horrible I was. So, you know, just, you know, I told him, expect this, because also it was very late. Well, late. It was 9 o'clock, 8:30, 9 o'clock. So, you know, the kids literally had to go to bed. And when the kids went to bed, in the end, I said to him, plus I had to work on my CV last night up to here. And I said to him, I said, Torsten, no, he made the comment. He said, we need to figure out how to improve. Because I said, Torsten, I cannot continue like this. You know, now I'm going to be working 100% soon. I'm constant, you know, and then yesterday also the problem was that I'm constantly telling the kids what to do. Small things, wash your face, comb your hair. Have you picked up your stuff from school? It's all on me, even those small things. And like, Torsten, you need to pick up some of this. You need to pick up some of the comb your hair, wash your face, because otherwise from morning to evening, the kids only hear from me stuff that they have to do. No wonder that they get annoyed with me.
Okay, ever since I've known you, there's been this difficulty.
Yeah.
So if you're going back to full time, do you earn enough money between you to afford a nanny?
Well, we do already have the babysitter who does the cleaning as well.
But how regular is she, and how many hours does she?
She does 15 hours a week in our house.
Can you afford a bit more from her? Can she give you any more?
I don't think so.
And is she good with the kids?
Yeah, she basically picks them up from school. Let's say I have the availability of those 3 days a week, picking up from school. So that's already 3 out of 5. And then she does the cleaning. And then basically I use her a lot for the cooking, even if it's only, you know, vegetables or whatever.
Yes.
I'm going to have to change a bit that pattern and kind of say to her, okay, on this day, you make dinner. Even make whatever you want, because I'm not in a position to choose anymore.
Because it seems to me the only way around this, there are 2 ways. One, which is what one of my closest friends did, and I'm the godmother of their 3 children, is they actually went to a psychologist because their middle daughter was really difficult. In fact, Sarah, my girlfriend, says I was really good training for her, for Florence, the daughter.
Okay.
Because I was so messed up. So she learned to be very patient with me and never get upset. But Florence was another level. It was incredible. She's now a delightful 20-year-old. Well, she's actually about 20. Oh my God, she's 28 now.
Wow.
Yeah. But the thing is, Sarah and Per went to a psychologist specializing in difficult children to teach the parents how to cope with their difficult children. Because Florence was no to everything, screaming fits, everything is stupid, very, very bright. And Sarah just could not deal with her. It was just too much. So she said to Per, you know, you've got to come home from hospital. We've got to do this together. And they did. And they got through it. And Florence now is delightful and a very successful actress. So that would be one thing. The other thing is to get your mum more involved or to get someone else. Although I'm reluctant to suggest that you bring two people into the boys because they need continuity.
Yeah.
Maybe you review that arrangement.
Yeah.
And see if you can get someone in for every day of the week, if you can afford it. See what you can afford, because there's no way around this. And the more you say, you two have got to sort out your relationship. Yes, it's true, but you're already both under so much pressure. Can you really take any more?
No.
So that means for now, it is the easiest route. And it may be give us 6 months of this, find someone for 6 months, find someone for a year. But we have to step back and choose someone for their ability to give continuity to the boys and set them healthy boundaries for behavior. So the boys don't always see you two slogging it out, trying to get through the stress and the difficulties that you face on a daily basis.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's pointless thinking that you two have got to do it. You can't. And I think the first step in this is realistic. Can we really take this on? Not if you're going to focus on the boys. Not if they need your help certain days a week. That's not to say you move away from them completely and you leave it up to a British-style nanny. No, but you need some support in the house and you need it regularly, and I think you need it daily. The aim needs to be get some of the pressure away.
Yeah.
And if you're going back full-time and you've got this very busy work and you're feeling overwhelmed, even if you're enjoying the work, you're still having stress, some of it healthy, fortunately, but some of it negative.
Yeah.
So I think it's time to sit down, look at your finances and say, what can we afford and what do we want to do with what we can afford? What would be the best way? Now, if this is just an occasional blip with the boys, then that needs to factor into your thinking. But if it's a regular thing, they're regularly negative, or they're regularly laughing at you, that is in no way appropriate.
No. Yeah, no, I think
it's very valuable information, but it's not appropriate. It's valuable for you two as adults, not for the boys.
Yeah, no, I think it's an occasional thing. And I agree with you that we need to find a way to manage the household in a different way. But it was interesting to hear, Torsten must have understood yesterday, because I clearly said to him,
good.
When I spoke to him, I thought, he's going to react to my negativity. And I said, Torsten, I'm really up to here now, between having to apply for this position, work, and the day I've had with the kids. I said to him, I'm ready to leave the house and go somewhere else. I just cannot take it anymore. So he even asked, what can I do? And
good.
Then when he sat down to watch TV, I mean, there is usual. I had the bad thought, thinking, he knows I'm here sitting working. He asked me if we could have the TV on with the headphones, but I'm thinking, he could have asked me if there's anything he can do for dinner tomorrow. He's traveling to Japan today and he's coming back on Saturday. He could have said, can I do anything before but he doesn't, but fine. That's his flaw there. And yesterday I was such in a bad mood that I thought, if I ask it, it's going to come out wrong. We're going to fight. So I'm just like, I'm going to shut up. If he does, he does. And if he doesn't, he doesn't. But he sat down and he said, we absolutely need to find a way to, and I can't remember how he worded it, but he said something about our planning or about what we want to do in life, kind of thing. And I said, yes, you're right, but we need to sit down and talk about it. Otherwise it's not going to happen. I've been telling him many times. And so he said, yeah, you're right. Now I want to see when he comes back. But the other thing I've told him is, when you come back from Japan, it is your task next week to take me out one evening. I'm just like, you have to. So you find the day, you have to. And I've told him twice, and I'm going to tell him the third time because he has to. I'm just like, I
And
don't
how
care.
did you say it? What was the emotion that you said it to him with?
I was more kind of with the sick, not sick and tired, but I'm just like, okay, I've had enough. You have to do it. That's it. It wasn't the best positive emotion, if you see what I mean.
Okay.
It wasn't the I really love you, so why don't you take me out?
And it wasn't you have to, and I'm laughing here, but I'm really serious with it as well. To relieve some of the tension and some of your frustration.
It was because I said it to him twice. At Insibit, it was relaxed. It wasn't tense.
Okay.
It wasn't tense as such, but it was really like direct. It's like
I
you
really
have to.
need this.
It's like you have to do it, Torsten. And but he didn't take it bad. At least that's
okay. Did you read the notes from last week's session?
No, because when I checked, there was none, and then I haven't checked it for the past maybe 2 days.
That's weird, because when I send you the share, it means that they're there. I've completed them.
Normally, I receive some kind of email because I tend to forget, and then I receive an email. It's like, oh, Susanna posted, so I.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I sent you a share. I'll go back after this session and see if they're there, and then reshare them with you.
Yes, there is now 6 out of 8.
Okay, good.
I think when I checked it, there was the first kind of when you start putting it on, but there was no information yet.
Okay, I don't send you a share until it's all completed.
Okay. Must have been that. Oh, I don't manage to take you back now.
That's all right. So long as you've got it, that's fine. Because there, I've given you a tip around that, which should hopefully be helpful for you.
Okay.
So let's stay with Torsten, because this is our focus for this passage, isn't it? So I wanted to look at your long emails that you send that are very critical. Because last week in our session, you described how you you'd really had enough, and you wrote out, you prepared a very long SMS, but then decided not to send. Good for you. I'm delighted that you didn't do it. But I'm wondering, what is it that drives you to create these long SMSs that are basically criticisms?
What was the question? Sorry, the first
part.
What
drives you to want to send or write these long SMSs?
I think it's when I'm like on negativity, like angry, and
what's the benefit for you? What do you think they'll do, or what do they do for you, this act of writing it all down?
Probably the drive is I'm sick and tired of you. I'm gonna tell you and kind of take it away from me, and so that I'm gonna tell you so that you understand.
So you understand, or that I can get it out of me because I don't want to feel like this, or both?
No, because isn't. Well, oh dear. First and foremost is I'm so pissed off at you that I need to tell you. Bleh, that one there.
Okay.
I need to kind of make you understand what's going on and how I feel, and and then possibly secondary is not necessarily take it off my chest, because probably because if I tell you, then I'm gonna be less angry afterwards. I'm still gonna be thinking about it, but like the issues do not disappear. But if I've told you, then at least you know.
And it's some relief for you because you'll feel less angry.
Yes, and in my head, even though I know because experience has proven that that doesn't happen, at least in the hope that he will be receptive and work with me on the things or on the issues.
So really it's a cry for help, would you say?
Yeah.
So you said it doesn't work. I'm going to be less angry, but it doesn't really. I hope it will help me feel better, but it doesn't happen.
Now, in the experience where I've actually sent the message, right? Or mostly it's been messages, SMS in the past. The result, I'd say almost always has been that another misunderstanding, even though I tend to be very, clear in what I write, but when you write out of anger or frustration, you kind of vomit like I do, right?
Yeah.
So when you tend to vomit, then you end up writing nasty things and pulling back in the 10 past years together or whatever. So it's either it creates another misunderstanding on top of the issue, or B, it still doesn't solve the issue because often I get him annoyed with either my manners or say it can be enough that I've sent the message at the wrong moment. Like I've told you the other day, he was having whatever. I think he had gone to that with that guy to the cinema.
Yes.
So he was having, his allowed evening out. And often it has happened that if I have dropped the bomb on a moment when he was supposed to be relaxing, it's like, come on, you're making me feel bad and guilty when. So that I totally understand. It is somehow a nasty way for me to.
Don't judge it. I'm just trying to get the facts of the situation, okay? I don't want us to go into judging. It's another rabbit hole. And you're an expert rabbit hole dweller. You're a rabbit.
I'm a rabbit.
Not always.
And even that someone has told me that I'm like the rabbit in Alice. No, is it the rabbit in Alice Wonderland who's always
the white rabbit?
I'm so late.
Going to be late. Oh, my ears and whiskers, going to be late. Yes, I adore him.
And someone made the comment to me once. It's just like, you're always scared to be late. What's wrong with you? Like always kind of. So,
well, I may have called you the white rabbit as well at times.
There you go. So there must be a reason, because all of this rabbit hole is coming back.
The stress that he lives under. So, okay, so it doesn't work. All right, so let's look at facts. All right, what do we know about SMS and the value of sending this sort of message through SMS? Does it work? Is it?
No.
No, it's not. What is SMS good for?
Nothing really. Well, no, to
it does have a tremendous uses. So let's have a look at some of them in your relationship with Torsten.
Oh, sorry, parenthesis, because we're talking about SMS. The other day I did send him, because we were talked about do you tell him I love you and that kind of stuff. And I did send him one, and I said, I know it may not feel like it, but I do love you. And, of course he replied, I love you too. He was really happy and stuff. So, yeah.
Excellent.
No, so,
and how did you feel when you realized he was happy?
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
So even though it doesn't come in the way you want it, you still get benefit from it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good. All right. So what's the benefit of SMS in your relationship with Torsten? When is it really helpful or convenient? Let's stay with helpful.
We're talking about general SMS,
Yeah.
not get to the point with some kind of vital or important information.
Yeah, I'm coming home now. I'm going to be late.
Yeah.
Those things, SMS is absolutely fantastic for. We don't need a really, really short message just containing facts is fantastic. It is not the vehicle for anything that is emotionally intimate, anger, frustration.
Yeah.
Because people don't want to read long SMSs. No one does. We want short ones. Coming now. Can you get some milk on the way home? Can you go get the mozzarella? Because it's coming into the shop at 5.
Yeah.
So do not use SMS for those sorts of messages. Okay? Never, ever, ever. That's the golden rule.
Yeah.
But I was wondering, the reason I've asked you why you feel drawn to sending an SMS is very interesting, because there's another way you can get relief.
Okay.
And that is to actually sit down on the computer or by hand and write a letter to him that you're never going to give him, but it's just for you to get out, to vomit out onto paper instead of to vomit out to him.
And indeed, that is, you know, I had written it in a note format, and indeed, in the end, it had that effect.
And that's great. So use the note format, because you know that it helps you, it provides you with relief.
Yeah.
And it stops you shoving anger down into your body where it does harm.
Yeah.
Because anger that's in our body, actually, the research shows, makes us more aggressive, because we store it.
Yeah.
So the aim is feel our anger, no matter how intense it is, but then do something helpful with it. And I suggest that your note form, because then you can just delete it.
Yeah, and actually it felt good when I actually, because I didn't do it on the same day. Like, I'm going to send it, I'm not going to send it, then the evening went, and then the day after I deleted it, and it kind of felt really good.
Yeah, because you don't want that anger anywhere around you, even if it's on a piece of equipment, you don't really want it. So that it's a symbolic way of saying, I'm deleting this anger from me. You're not denying the anger, because you felt it, you've written down your anger.
Yeah, yeah.
But then it doesn't serve you anymore, because sometimes when we read back what we've written, we can say, it helps us reflect and say, well, I don't really believe this, so why did I write it? Old automatic habit.
Yeah, yeah.
So you can use your technology, but not to send, but for a cathartic release of the anger for you.
Yeah, yeah.
All right?
Yes.
Good. So what else has been happening with Torsten? I know yesterday was a bad day, very difficult, but what else has been happening? And you've told me about you sending him the little SMS.
Yeah. Now, another thing that happened is Monday night, I invite, you know, we rarely invite people over, just always for the same reason. The kids go to bed early. I get even overwhelmed thinking, what would I make for dinner? But I have a colleague who's also a good friend, or a friend, and she got pregnant with twins, just with that very unexpectedly, because they were trying to have kids. She lost the first one, and all of a sudden she got pregnant with twins without having undergone any special treatment. So she was a bit surprised. So of course she came to me, kind of help. So we kind of said, okay, you know what? Let's have dinner together, so you can come over with your husband and we can chat a bit. And end of the day, knowing that Torsten anyhow was going to be traveling almost all week, I organized myself with the dates I knew best suited me and the kids. Right?
Good.
So then in the end, this week, Monday night is the only night that he was at home. So when I told him that, you know, Mael and her husband are coming for dinner, he was like, and you know, your typical, he was coming home from work, he was tired and half depressed, to which I even told him, Torsten, no, you tell me I'm negative, but you're always depressed. You know, it cannot be. And I said, you know, to be honest, I've tried to change the date, but between my dates, her dates, Monday was the only availability. Plus, I wanted for them to come so that we could have dinner at 7 together with the kids. So I said to him, I don't think they're gonna be too late. Okay, they came over. It was quite relaxing and nice. And when they left, you know, he was tired. But I said, you know, we had a good evening, right? And he said, yeah, we did. So I'm on kind of that position where I'm thinking, I'm not very sociable in the sense that I tend to not organize too many social events.
Yeah.
Because I'm tired, because, you know, I have too much on my plate, and because in reality with the kids, whether one play date, whether one sports, you know, for me that is already a lot of social activities.
Yes.
Right. But Torsten tends to not do anything at all for himself or for the kids. When he has last Sunday, I went to Shatsu all day.
Yeah.
And, you know, okay, fair enough, here it was pouring with rain, but on a normal day, it's not like he would ever think, oh, let's organize with someone, with friends.
Yeah.
And again, not that you have to all the time see people, but given that he never does, it kind of gets me thinking, you know, because the therapist way back then told us it's the father who takes the kids out of the home and towards society. And okay, I try to do my part, but he clearly doesn't. With school, he's not involved. And school is the most, you know, the biggest part nowadays, because, yeah. So I sort of decided that, you know, even if I have to force him a bit, because normally I try to step back because I don't want to annoy him. And fair enough, it's also his life, his home and stuff. But then I've decided that it's not like I can always, because he is gonna get annoyed or he's tired or whatever, I have to refrain from organizing things.
Perfect.
So because there is I think I told you, there is a kid in Matthias' class who is a selective mutist. So I feel very much for her. And indeed, her mom, when we meet at birthday parties, she talks to me and stuff. So the other day we were at the birthday party, and actually the kid, for the first time, she said one word to me. I had shivers. I had shivers down my spine, and even her mom looked at me, because she doesn't talk to adults.
Yeah.
And, you know, I pushed, well, and it's not like I pushed her, but I tried to create an environment where, you know, I would have to talk to her. And because I found out that she is friends with another girl in the class whom I've also got involved with the mom. So I said, why don't we one day meet all together and have pizza at home? And she said, yes. So I said to Torsten, look, if in 2 weeks' time, you know, 2 kids from Matthias' class are going to be coming home. We're going to have merenda together. And then, you know, when the husbands come home, we'll just buy some pizza and we have pizza all together. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, I was expecting him to pull his face or whatever. I said, you know, I've decided. That's it. Looked at the calendar and kind of I've decided that I cannot consult him on everything. Because...
So how did you feel about deciding? Was there any guilt?
Teensy bit.
Okay.
Because I think, you know, the main drive in the end is, okay, you're not there and you're not interested, therefore I have to do it. So there is still a teensy bit of that.
Okay.
Not nastiness, but
So what was the dominant emotion then that you felt?
It was that I've decided that this is right, so I'm going to do it.
But what was the dominant emotion? Were you happy? Were you pleased? Were you proud of yourself? Were you excited?
It was a bit neutral, I have to be honest.
Okay. But at the end of it, how did you feel? Did you feel
good?
Good?
Yeah, no, I felt good that I did it.
So that's a way of cultivating your good experiences and getting more of them. And the more you have good experiences like this, the less pressure you put on Torsten and the more likely he is to follow you.
How do you mean?
Because maybe I don't remember, but maybe he grew up in a family that didn't socialize with other families. So he doesn't really know how to do it. That was certainly one thing that I've experienced. I had no idea how to do it. And I'm still not very good at it. So it's difficult if you weren't socialized well as a child. I watch my godchildren and see how they were socialized, and they are fantastically confident in every level of society, and it's a real joy to watch them, and I'm really proud of them and grateful to them because I learned from them, really. So if you're just taking hold of that and saying, well, I'm doing it because I enjoy it, then that allows Torsten to learn that he can enjoy it too. And it's not all, oh, something else I've got to do, but it's actually something I want to do because it's a pleasure, because it helps me relax more in the evenings. It helps me watch less television, drink less wine, or whatever the drug is that we use to help ourselves feel better.
Yeah.
So if you had a positive experience from that, then I would say, yes, fine, you may feel a little guilt, but you weren't pushing him to do anything. You just said, I've organized it, and that's it. We're going to have it then. If you're here, you're here. If you're not, you're not. That's fine. I would love it if you were here, but if you're not, that's still fine.
Yeah.
So you're not putting any pressure on anybody, least of all yourself, and you're socializing the boys, which is something as a parent that you cannot underestimate the importance of.
No, and indeed, and that's what I realize, we've been through it. We know how important it is.
Yeah.
And, even though the issue with the mutism has gone, I do realize that, I don't take them to the disco. I don't do crazy things, but a teensy bit, we need to make the effort.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's way too comfortable to just be at home, the four of us. But that's the first thing that the therapist said to us. It's nice, you're a great family, but that's not what the kids need.
No, absolutely.
Not the only thing that the kids need.
Yeah, and it's also what you two don't need either. You need to socialize. You need to have relationships outside of you too, so that you can let off steam. So knowing that there's another parent with a child who's got selective mutism is really helpful. It might have been more helpful 2 years ago, but it's still helpful now.
And even I feel very useful in,
you feel good about yourself.
Yeah. The other day I sent this mom, because then we didn't have too much time, and I said, look, because she has issues with her husband. Actually, her husband apparently should need a bit of therapy, but he's not wanting to.
Yeah.
We heard that before. But he's accepted to go and see the therapist to help out the kid.
Yeah.
To which I said to the mom, I said, look, it's great, because somehow it's therapy for him as well.
Yes, absolutely.
I said, and you are doing a great job with the kid. I mean, it's a lot more difficult because the kid is already in primary school. And then, she replied, she was nice. She said, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here because, you helped me, understand what the problem was and start tackling. So I was like, whoa.
Good, enjoy it.
Yeah.
So, you deserve it.
Yeah. So I was really happy, and I'm like, we mixing, we don't manage to socialize. We don't manage to see parents or kids. I'm like, it's a great opportunity. The other mom I've been trying to meet her and we don't find time. She gets along with this mutistic kid. I was like, it's a great opportunity to see more kids, see some girls, because otherwise we only see boys, and I like for them to see girls as well.
Good.
And I said, you know, we're going to have pizza, so I'm not going to get stressed about dinner.
No, well done. Well, very well handled. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
So is there anything else you want to share with me about your relationship with Torsten and how it's been this week?
Anything else? The other day, I don't know, I think it happened after our session. We almost had a fight because I think he was in a bad mood. He comes home and he huffing and puffing, work, whatever. And it's not like we have much time to talk. He comes home and then it's straight dinner or whatever. So after a bit, I tell him, are you okay? I don't know, this I think was even, what was it? On the Sunday. I think on the Sunday, I went to Shatsu and he had a fairly bad day with the kids, which I was happy for. The weather was terrible. They couldn't leave the house. One of the two kids was really moody, so complaining all the time. And so when I came home, he was in a bad mood. So, he had a couple of hours on his own. And after a bit, I tell him, are you okay? And he answers to me, I just need a bit of positivity. I'm like, so of course we almost had a fight. I was like, what do you mean? What have I done? So after we managed to discuss half, he sort of said, when I say I need a bit of positivity, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's because you've done something wrong.
Okay.
But, okay, I think he didn't want to admit it, but because he gets worked up at the minimum, let's say, fighting exchange that I may have with the kids, he really handles very badly fights and quarrels. So I think he gets pissed with that. But anyhow, in his mind, he said that when he says he needs a bit of positivity, it means that, yeah, he needs a bit of positivity to come out of it. I said, Torsten, but you know what? I also need for you to be a bit positive to not go down. So, I mean, how do we find the kind of the middle ground?
The way I got round it was by saying I would make myself say, help me. I'd just say those two words, help me.
Okay.
Because my partner would see that I'd gone way beyond. I'd gone so deeply down the rabbit hole I couldn't get out. And I was really suffering. I wanted to get out, but I didn't know how. So I taught myself to say, help me. And it was difficult because he was very, very patient with me and very loving, but he found it very difficult to know what to do.
Okay.
But he would usually just come and depending on how we felt, he would put his hands on my shoulder or give me a hug, or that would be it. And once we'd got the physical contact, then we could work through it. And I could say, I'm sorry, or just give me a little time. Because it's difficult. I really understand Torsten's not handling quarrels and fights well. If you've grown up with parents who quarrel and fight and it gets awful, you're allergic to it. You just want to run. You don't want to be anywhere near it because it shakes you to the core. So it's a difficult thing for some people to work back from. It's not like a Mediterranean culture where everybody shouts and, we all think people are having arguments, but they're not, they're just shouting over one another because that's what you do.
Yeah.
So it's a much more, it's in the Middle East as well, people shout.
Yeah.
But if but they shout out of love and out of laughter and out of fun, all sorts of positive reasons. But some of us have grown up with shouting meaning physical violence and risk. So it's a really difficult one to move through. So maybe just say to him, just say there's two, just let's agree 2 words that you can tell me, or 1 word, help. What can you tell me that's my signal that you need help? And what would you like me to do? Something very simple, because sometimes it's going to be difficult for me to do it because I might be pissed off with you. So you need total honesty. Can you hear me? Okay, all right.
Yes,
You need absolutely total honesty. No explaining, no rationalizing, but you need a calm chat. Chris and I didn't chat. I worked out on my own, help me, because I hated to see him so uncomfortable, because I saw his helplessness and I hated it, and I hated myself for it. The more I hated myself, the worse I got with myself, the more toxic I became. So out of desperation one day, I just stopped what I was doing and said, help me.
Yeah.
So that was our signal. When I said help me, it was a signal that I couldn't do it on my own and I needed some physical comfort. And it wasn't all right. It didn't all go away to begin with. It took me a long time to, diffuse what the awful feelings I had in my body. But at least I knew he was there, and at least he knew that I wanted to get out of it and that I was doing my best.
Yeah, and if I can have, manage to sort of train him to do that, that would be great.
No, you don't train him, you encourage him. Training says, I'm superior, I know more. And then you're setting yourself up to fail.
Okay, then I need to change the note I've written, because I says train him to say, I help you.
No, he's not a dog.
Oopsie.
He's a lion, he bites.
Oh my.
Okay, so talk about, so when you can find time to be just the 2 of you and say, can we go back to you saying, I need some positivity? Say, can you give me some signal that you need some help from me? And you can share my experience with him if you want. You can share what I did and just help me. If it will help you, then feel free to do it.
Thanks.
Okay, but we need to give some signal and we need some help. We're not doing it because we can't be asked. We're doing it because we feel terrible. And the more we feel terrible, the worse we feel.
Yeah.
It doesn't get better, it just gets worse. And we need help to stop that slide, because that's not the rabbit hole, that's into the mouth of the volcano, spewing lava. At least it was for me. I can't say what it's like for Torsten, but I have a pretty good idea of what it might be like for him.
Yeah.
So find a way to help him, to help you, to help him.
Yeah.
All right. So it's a quiet talk. What do you need? Let's agree something so I know that that's your signal. I need some help from you. And you can do the same with him. You can find things that you get into that you can't get out on your own. It builds trust and intimacy between the 2 of you, emotional intimacy, and that's what everybody wants.
Yeah.
You already have this base where you both know that when the chips are down, you are on each other's side. You are totally there for each other, which is a brilliant starting point. So develop on that with this technique. I'll write it down for you as a tip, okay?
Thank you.
So next week is our last session, my love. Is there anything that you want to do in it particularly, or do you want to have a think and then tell me? What can we do to bring this work that we've been doing together, this journey that we've been taking?
Make a miniature, Susanna. Just bring it in my pocket.
Yeah.
We should do
Well,
that. We should do that.
I've been, for the last 1.5 months, I've been developing 1-minute videos on how to have a healthy relationship with yourself. Now, they've
Okay.
all gone on my Facebook page, but over Christmas, I'm going to take 3 weeks off to put all the videos that I've made so far, to build a YouTube channel and to put them
Oh,
all there.
nice.
And I deal with a theme like inner bullies, anger thief, anger sniper, boundaries thief, uh, over 7 days. So I do take different aspects of a theme and deal with a different aspect every day of the week for 7 days, and then I move on to something else. And we have a live session on Facebook for about 20 minutes every Thursday evening. So I'm going to build a channel of that.
Wow.
Someone else asked me, she doesn't have a Facebook page, and she said, how can I watch it? And I said, well, if you don't have a Facebook page, I'm not sure that you can. So I thought, what can I do for people who don't have a Facebook page, who want to access these?
That's clever, because I have Facebook, but I'm useless with it. We don't check it. We don't.
Okay, well, I'm going to set up a channel over Christmas. That's why I'm taking 3 weeks off. I just want some clear time, because I'm not a techie, to work out how to set up a channel. And then I put all the videos on there, including the weekly live sessions, which bring together all the 7 videos in the week. So the theme is 1 video, 1 minute, 1 tip.
That's excellent.
So that I don't overwhelm with a lot of emotion, but because I deal with the same theme over 7 days, we can keep coming back to it and doing other different aspects of it. In 7 days videos, you get a nice little overview of some aspect of that work. So so that's what I'm doing. So that could be your pocket tip.
That's really
And
interesting.
what I want to encourage people to do is actually to tell me what they want from healthy relationship with yourself. Because sooner or later, I will run out of ideas. I've got 1,000 of them there, but I will. Well, there are things I don't think of, so it's good to have suggestions from other people. Okay. So I will tell you when that's done. That should be ready to start in the 2nd week of January.
So we can also advertise left and right.
Yeah, yeah. So what are your takeaways from today?
My takeaways from today are that 3 things. One, that I need to remember not to go down the rabbit hole, because I still do, without realizing.
Yeah.
Then that, what was that second thing? That if my boss does something for me, she's doing it because she appreciates me and not because blah blah, all the negative stuff.
Yeah. Just remember, you can let that go. You've proved your worth to her time and time again.
Yeah.
And she's complimented you time and time again. This is not some false fake thing that she's saying it to be nice. Accept it. Give yourself permission to accept the truth of this.
Yeah, indeed.
Okay.
And then now the last thing that we said on the tip for trying to encourage Torsten to say, help me when he's feeling low or whatever, because otherwise we both go down and
Yes.
help anyone.
Yeah, and you don't want to both go down, because then the boys are seeing both of their parents not able to deal with them. It's not a good way to be with them. It's not a good model for them.
Yeah.
What is a great model is to see one of you go down, but the other one being there for them, because it shows them that they can do that too. That's the way people who care for each other are with each other. That's a really, really healthy role model to be for them.
Yeah.
And it's also great for us because we feel I can help. Yeah. It doesn't come as a sense of duty. It's if I help him or her, then that will help me, because once they feel better, I'll feel better too, and we'll be back to being us again, as opposed to him and me. Okay. So it makes us united again, a team again. And that's what we all want to be. All right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, I will get these notes done most probably on Friday, but I'll share them with you to tell you when they're up. Okay.
Thank you so
All right,
much.
my love. Good luck with
Thank
this week. Is anything nice coming up? Anything that you've got going on?
I'm in between deciding. Yeah, no, the weekend is fairly busy. But Torsten is only coming back on Saturday night,
Okay.
and actually I have a good friend. She's British and she's married to a very nice Italian guy, and they have 2 lovely kids. We barely managed to meet up because, you know, the usual crazy life everyone has.
Yeah.
And for a long time, both me and her have been saying, you know, we should go for an aperitif or something,
Yeah.
because that would do us good. But we haven't managed to find time. And we had an exchange, and the only day available seemed to be Saturday. But of course I said, but Torsten is going to be in Japan Saturday evening. So jokingly I said, unless we leave all the 4 kids to Roberto, her husband. But I made it clear that it was a joke. But she replied that Roberto says that it's fine for him, that, you know, if we go and play a bit, me and her can go for a couple of hours to have a drink or something.
Good.
And the kids could even watch a movie if they want to, and then we could eat pizza together. And then I sort of agreed. I said, look, because Torsten lands at 8 o'clock, if he's not too shattered after Japan, he can join us for an hour or so. If not, so already this is happening, and I'm in between. Sunday there would be Shatsu, but it's an all-day seminar on traditional medicine, Chinese medicine, which we would have to do anyhow. But I'm sort of really interested in it. And I'm in between wanting to go but not wanting to go because Torsten is back just Saturday. So I'm kind of in back and forth. Do I go because at least he has time on his own with the kids, or don't I go because at least we all have time together? I'm kind of in between.
Why don't you ask him? Why
What
don't
he
you ask
prefers.
him? Would you like some time on your own with the boys on Sunday, and I'll go off to shiatsu? Instead of trying to work it all out on your own.
Yeah.
See how he feels.
Yeah. I guess I will. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
You don't have to sort out everybody's problems.
No, I know. At times, the easiest task becomes the most complicated, just because of woo.
Yeah. So ask, my love.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm going to leave you. Have a good week, and I'll see you next Wednesday for our last session.
Oh,
Exciting.
yes.
Okay.
See you soon.
And
Bye.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.